Hello there, everyone. Oh, that ice makes a lot of sound in my ear. Hello, everyone. I'm the soppiest crowd. Sorry that my voice sounds a little iffy. I'm a bit sick right now. But welcome to Rate the Character, episode 2. I'll reveal what we're doing. You know, you may have seen in the thumbnail. Maybe you couldn't tell. That's completely fine. Just wanted to state a few things. This is not a daily thing. This is not a weekly thing, Rate the Character. It's whenever I'm able to make a video, which for some reason it's just been difficult the past, honestly, few months for me to just make content and sit down and like write and just make content, figure out what I want to do. But I think you who watch the channel sometimes, or if you're very new, thanks for coming to watch me. Anywho, today's matchup, what are we ranking today? That's right, Charizard versus Chiron. I'm gonna switch what I say every single minute. Don't you worry, I'm gonna do that. So what are the connections? Honestly, I couldn't find them online, so I'm just gonna go off what I know. Basically, Charizard and Chiron are two dragons who evolved into evolved into higher forms from Charmander and Chiron kind of just got bigger. They have a difference in terms of Charizard fights with fire and Chiron, fights with wind attacks. And both of them are under the control of one trainer. I don't know the name of Chiron's trainer, but I know Charizard is red. I know red has Charizard. So yeah, that's the baseline connections. I'm sure someone in the comments, if you want to leave more, that would be awesome. You know, I'd love to actually know. Maybe that would make the matchup a little bit better to me, or maybe it'd make it worse. I don't know. But anywho, of course, if we're not going to focus on connections, then we should focus on the potential. I like the animation potential for this episode. Depending on what it is. Let's say it's a death battle. Okay, well, there you go. So Charizard comes back for a third time, and, you know, I feel like Charizard hasn't really developed anything new, needing him to come back. However, if a different versus show outside of Death Battle did this, I feel like they'd be able to make a lot of use of Charizard. Charizard has a lot of abilities, a lot of fire abilities, but also he can use his claws, he can fly around, he can, you know, I don't know who'd include Rock Smash, but I'd include Rock Smash, you know. He can evolve. And Chiron, he has those wind attacks, those like, pew, it's like a powerful gust of wind. I don't remember where, but I saw a city block calc for that, like in terms of like the size of how big it is. So that's pretty damn good. And you know, just in terms of potential, imagine just a giant tornado coming out of the ground as Charizard is just flying around trying to make his way to Chiron, who's stuck in the middle, and he blasts through the tornado and like fire breathes onto Chiron. I just think that would be absolutely awesome. Now, one thing I will say is that throughout the fight, I'd really like them to evolve. I've seen clips of Chiron, evolving, and I've seen him going into like higher status in order to be great enemies, you know, and if we're going with whoever Chiron, I'm so sorry, I should have done more. I should have rewatched Legends a little bit more. But listen, it's nothing against the matchup. I'm just very bad with remembering names. But yeah, so Chiron's trainer can, like, you know, help him evolve. Red, you can show the dynamic between both of them and helping them. Yes, I'd want this to be a bit of a trainer battle. Chiron can actually talk, it seems, and Charizard cannot, so I'd like to see that happen, you know, but that's the main thing. You know, a lot of the things that Charizard can do, like if he were to return to Death Battle, Chiron is basically Tien Agumon. Yeah, I mean, like, it just feels like a repeat of Pokemon vs. Digimon. Meanwhile, if a different series did this, I could see an awesome dynamic. I could see something new, something maybe a bit more, like, powerful, you know? Maybe impactful in terms of emotion. Not saying Pokemon vs. Digimon wasn't impactful. It's great. But I'm expecting, I'd want something on that level of impactfulness and, you know, emotion. Personally, outside of animation, I don't care particularly for either character. Chiron seems very cool. I love the design. Charizard's okay. Charizard's okay. You know, he's not the best of the original three. I always preferred Bulbasaur. Yeah. But, you know, I still find him very cool. I find both of them very cool. I think the wind versus fire dynamic could be done very well. But I do have one problem in terms of that. Actually, it's not really a problem, actually. It more plays into the outcome. Charizard is probably more powerful. I see him mainly put at around mountain level. And I don't know if he can get higher with his, you know, mega evolutions or whatever. And Chiron is normally placed, I think, at best around multi-city block from what I could get. Sorry, I am... But none of that would actually matter, since the one way, you know, outside of stats you can beat Charizard is get rid of his tail fire. Get rid of that, you know. If you get rid of the fire on his tail, he dies. You know? You know, and then, you know, you can have a scene where that happens, you know, in the fight, much like Pokemon versus Digimon. I know I'm using that example a lot, but it's the Charizard fight you want to look to in terms of potential. I really, really like this idea. I'm not going to lie. Not on Death Battle, per se. Once again, I think Charizard ran his course already, and I don't think Chiron can bring... whatever the hell... can bring anything particularly new that Charizard has yet to face. But I do think it'd be interesting if another versus show, maybe a smaller one, you know, were to tackle this matchup. I've been enjoying, you know, looking at some of Chiron's stuff, even if I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly or remember his trainer's name or whatever. I've been looking at some of the stuff he does, and he seems like a really cool character. Also, almost forgot, music. Any of you hear Tempest Blitz? It's a great track, yeah. Like, I have both the instrumental and the vocal version, like, downloaded, and up there on some of my favorite, you know, custom fan tracks, you know, or whatever. Not fan, you know what I mean. It's just really good, and go check it out. I'll link in description. In terms of who I think would win, I know I've gone over that a little, but do I think Chiron, whatever the hell, God, can take Charizard out quick enough? No. I think Charizard is too fast. I think he's too powerful. I think, you know, within the fight early and on, just one-shot him, you know, if it were, you know, based on just purely stats and not animation potential. In the end, I do think Charizard would be able to beat Chiron, but that's nothing against him. In terms of where I'd rank this, where I'd rate this, I'm gonna need a minute to think. In the meantime, after some thinking, I've come to the conclusion there are two different outcomes on how I could view this matchup. I could view it as if it were done by Death Battle. Death Battle's the biggest versus show. They have the best quality animation. They have, you know, the biggest... If Death Battle were to return a character, people would probably either be very happy or very not so happy, you know, and I just can't say any versus show does that as well. If Death Battle were to do this matchup, I would give it a D tier. I don't think Charizard needs to return, and if he were to return, I don't want him fighting someone so similar to who he fought in Pokemon vs. Digimon, along with Red. If this were done by another versus show, easy A tier. I think this matchup sounds so cool and has a lot of animation potential that, you know, a smaller versus show could just deliver on better in terms of emotion and potential. Plus, if this were done by Death Battle, they probably wouldn't use Tempest Blitz, since they also didn't do that for episodes like Blake vs. Mikasa. Which, to its benefit, I do prefer Thunder Shroud. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure a smaller versus show. Let's not use the term indie. Unless, I don't know. A smaller versus show. If a smaller versus show were to do this episode, easy A tier. So joining Mario vs. Link is Charizard vs. Chiron. See you next time.